Hi guys, it's Resting Dollface here. I hope everybody had a very happy, very safe Merry Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, and happy holidays. And I hope everything's going well for you. So right now, I wasn't planning on doing any videos. As many of you who follow me know, I'm kind of temporarily relocating, and so got a lot on my plate. Yet everywhere it's being covered that, Blake Lively is alleging that she was kind of going through some things on the set of that movie, It Ends With Us. And then that she was targeted with a smear campaign, aka bullied, afterwards. So there's just so much to uncover here. She had quite an active year, and I am just 100% confused. So, as always, I say let's get into it. Let's get started, okay? So Blake Lively, she filed a legal complaint against her It Ends With Us co-star Jason Baldoni, accusing him of SH. Not 100% sure of what I can say here, but SH during the filming. Then she made part of that claims that he organized a smear campaign against her in the months that followed. So I just have so many questions that go along with this right now. And to be fair, I'm going to do kind of like a disclosure of what we're going to get into and what we're not, okay? So the complaint was filed with the California Civil Rights Department and it was a precursor to the lawsuit. Now, they're claiming there was a culmination of months of speculation from fans and media after rumors of a rift between Baldoni. Now, Baldoni was also the director. Okay, he was with WME. WME is the same agency that has Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And so there's just so many things. It's an either or. I really don't know which way to go on this because to me, especially since she was a producer of It Ends With Us, if he did launch a smear campaign against her, he and everybody involved, PR, whatever, it was like the dumbest move ever to think that they could do it or get away with it. So, but all my reasons, I was going to post a big long thread on Twitter X, and then I decided, you know what? Nope. I'm going to do as my friends say and make it into a video. So, this is what this is about. The legal documents seen by the Independent, as well as an investigation by the New York Times, accuses her co-star and director and associates of a targeted effort to destroy the actor and drag her in the media, which Lively says caused her severe emotional distress. Now, we've seen from just online bullying, the bots, those kind of things that people, celebrities do like to employ, that can be pretty harsh. I just have a lot of questions because her behavior was a little questionable during the press for this movie. And I don't know if you've seen it, but that's what I've pulled up as some examples. So just fair use and fair dealing. Everything that I have here can be found in the public domain. The views expressed are my opinion, protected by the First Amendment, by the way. And so, as always, please do your own research. I'm not meant to be a legal authority in anything. And here's just, all the disclosure stuff. So, just so you know, this video is not about whether or not Blake Lively's harassment claims against him are true or false. That's not what this video is for, okay? In fact, I really feel like since they put this all into the public domain, this is going to be something that goes on for a while. Either it goes on for a while, he said, she said, and then or it's going to be one of those where someone just quietly goes away. Now, what this video is about is speculating how a smear campaign could have been launched and if it actually affected the Blake Brown sales. Blake Brown is the name of Blake Lively's hair care products. So, Fortune magazine said Blake Lively's Target hair care line saw sales decline as much as 78% after alleged smear campaign by her co-star Justin Baldoni. Now, I like to consider myself somebody who stays on top of pop culture. I'm aware of who has what perfume come out, that kind of thing. And I have to say, I know Blake had some products earlier in the year because she kind of took a dig at Princess Catherine about it to get herself some, free PR. But I didn't know about this hair care line. However, I did do a deep dive into everything just to have my own 2 cents, my own fresh eyes looking at it without it being this is what it was about, if that makes sense, okay? So she has sued her co-star legend that he and his team pulled off a highly coordinated smear campaign in an effort to tarnish her reputation. And as a result, her business ventures have taken a dramatic hit. Now, haven't we heard, especially in the past 4 or 5 years, something about smear campaigns being used? Didn't Harry and Meghan say that? Incidentally, Meghan's over at WME. So, da 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 da. Yeah, part of the smear campaign is they're saying that fans suggested Lively was a bully or difficult to work with. Rumor mill began back in August when the film adaptation of the best-selling book by the same name premiered in theaters. And fans, this is really important, quickly realized Lively, who plays the lead protagonist, didn't do any press alongside Baldoni, who played opposite her. So this is where I'm going to say public perception goes and carries its own way. You can have your own problems behind the scenes and everything else. However, when you don't show up with your co-star, it's going to have, and you're out there, which Blake did. She was kept saying, oh, it's a girls' movie. Get your friends, put your florals on, go enjoy it. It's a romantic movie. It's all about romance. Spoiler alert, It Ends With Us is not so much a romance as it is about DV, okay? It is a very serious subject matter in this movie, and it stems from both parties experiencing DV. In fact, no, all three parties experiencing DV in their lifetime, and about how it carries through in their day-to-day lives, their choices, who they trauma bond with or fall in love with. And that's kind of in the title where it says it ends with us, right? Because it's, spoiler alert again, it's kind of a cyclical thing that people can repeat those patterns in their life. That's not a romantic comedy. That's not a good romance. That is a serious, heavy subject matter. Okay? So I encourage you to go see just on your own, no commentary. Go ahead, my friends. Go to YouTube. Go to TikTok. Check it out on Instagram. All the pressers that Blake Lively did for that movie. Because it's a little odd. It's not about the movie so much as it is about, like, you could see her excitement. She's a producer. It's her film. Man, she's probably riding high on the fact that her husband just had Deadpool, which she played Lady Pool, and Hugh Jackman was in it. They were having the best time promoting that film. It had just come out. It was a huge success for the summer. However, when you're sitting down talking about the film that you were a producer of, you did the costumes for, you did the hairstyling for, you see where I'm going with this? And you sit there with a huge smile on your face. So no, make it a girls' night. This is a movie where I think it's going to touch a lot of people and a lot of their own pain. This isn't Magic Mike, guys. This is not 50 Shades of Grey, even on a good romantic night in a weird kind of way. It Ends With Us is a very heavy subject. So her team is saying now, and this is the part where I get a little confused because we just said 78%. And yet in the same article, sales of Blake Brown alone may have dropped by nearly 90%. An insider says. Guys, I can tell you from my own work and lifelong experience, in the words of Jay-Z, which may not be too cool to quote right now, but numbers don't lie. So it says as much as 78% in the same article, because I went from Fortune to reading it on Yahoo. It's from Fortune. And now it says 90%. There's a lot of speculation in this lawsuit. This is going to be really interesting to watch because you're going to read in here, you're going to see with it, and I'm going to be doing updates throughout this whole thing because this is fascinating for me. There's a lot of allegations and a lot of blame. And it's a lot of, we had internal projections, no actual receipts. And then the figures change. And that's the part that I'm really starting to know. So when we talk about smear campaign, there's a lot of heavy PR on her end right now, whether it's from her management team or her legal team. And it's fascinating to watch because they're accusing the director and the co-star of that, and yet here we are with manipulating numbers. So yes, it says it took a personal toll. Now it's 90%. And then look there, drawing on internal sales projections, her lawyers say the sudden and unexpected negative media campaign depressed retail sales of Blake Brown anywhere from 56 to 78%. Guys, I've studied economics, I've done accounting. Please, please, please tell me I'm not imagining this, okay? Before the social manipulation campaign started, her lawyers noted that Blake Brown, again, that's her hair care line, which generated $16 million immediate impact value within 1 week, was Target's largest hair care launch on record. And according to Puck, the first 3.5 weeks on shelves, sales of Lively's brand came close to $5 million, which was a strong debut. You see, this is where it's getting kind of murky for me. So, one, why do these figures keep changing? Two, public perception is key. And three, how is this even possible? So, Ari said it, 78% is what they go ahead and talk about here. But then it says 90% drop, anywhere from 56 to 78%. And notice the key differences in the words here. What a play on words, okay? Her lawyers noted 16 million immediate impact value within 1 week. In layman's terms, are they talking about like ads, clicks, whatever? Because that comes into play, especially for influencers and sales, celebrities or not, okay? And at the bottom there, it says the actual sales, though, came close to 5 million. So was this like a one and done thing, like a flash in the pan? And then people started noticing like, hey, something's not adding up here. And people forgot about it, because we've seen that with celebs before. Strong debut. I mean, remember Tori Spelling? She came out with like Little Maven or something like that. She had her own jewelry line, but it's not something she could stick with and keep promoting. So if you remember that when she was doing Tori and Dean, all those brands died off because she couldn't keep up with it. I mean, she had a lot of personal issues going on. She was getting sick a whole lot. But this is really interesting. So they're saying 16 million and then 5 million. Well, yeah, when you're looking at that's a huge difference. One, you're talking about media impact, and the other is actual sales. So I'd really like to see where they're getting their numbers from. Speaking of which, I mean, when they talk about it like that, right, it's a strong debut and then it dies off. Where have we seen that before? Oh, I don't know. Harry and Meghan, right? Oh, #1 in views, blah, 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 blah. And yet they haven't made any other list since the debut on Netflix. It doesn't have any staying power. Yikes. So, sudden and unexpected negative media campaign. I'd be really interested to also see what they consider a media campaign. Now, we've seen that there have allegedly been PR, internal text messages and stuff that were released between Justin Baldoni and his PR strategist at the time. I mean, he's in a lot of legal trouble right now. I believe like his old PR people are suing him for breach of contract. He's suing somebody for releasing the text messages. I think I saw it there. And then he's being sued by Blake over all of this right now. But what are they counting as a social manipulation campaign? Like, did they pay certain influencers? Because again, there's that other group that we know of that has really brought a lot of bad attention. So because certain people are at WME, I'm starting to wonder, are these just the same tactics that they use when they're over there, or is it all of Hollywood? Because I'm noticing a pattern here. Is this like when they're talking about this, are they alleging that all the social media influencers out there, the people like myself who just get out there and share their own independent opinion based off of what they see, are they claiming that we were somehow, persuaded or paid to make these observations? I posted it on Twitter earlier, and Bridget said she launched, meaning Blake, BB products August 4th, the same time of the movie premiere and promo dates that are planned in advance. Sure seems she coincided the launch In the co-op movie press, work environment may have been toxic and smear campaigns are cruel and wrong. I agree 100%. But in my opinion, she earned bad press and the Blake Brown reviews without him. And I think she hit the nail on the head. This is exactly how I feel. Because there were a lot of things in the media saying that the movie was originally supposed to come out for Valentine's Day. It got delayed. It got pushed back to like June, July, that kind of thing. And then it just so happened to come out on August 4th. Well, I get that. While she was doing press for the movie, though, did she have to keep going on and on about how she was the hairstylist? During the press portion for the movie, why was she also doing like demos for her hair care products? This is when you really don't want to do two things at once, okay? If a president is up there and they're giving a speech about the strength or, the State of the Union, you don't want him up there going, by the way, buy my new book. It's coming out next month. I'm going to go into this, this, and this. No, dude, you're on stage to be the president. We don't want to hear about your other products. And this is where it can get really, really messy for people. And I think she's getting some of that backlash from it, because I was really confused just by the way she was speaking about the movie It Ends With Us. And then she's out there basically holding QVC hour and specials about her new product. And this isn't the first time she's been like that in interviews. If you've ever watched Blake back when she did like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, whether it was back then or now, she likes to talk about things she's excited about or her perception, or I don't know, maybe she could use a coach. Well, it's kind of weird to say that one of her sisters is an acting coach. But maybe a PR coach to help her with how to handle the junkets and talking to the press and promoting her project. Because here she was talking about certain things, and her co-star, and this is not the only project this has happened on, American Ferrera, was like, what are you talking about? And she looks down, she looks all around. I'm telling you, go out there, Google it, YouTube it yourself. Tell me your thoughts below. Go watch them and come back, because I'm really interested in your opinion. This is a discussion. I'm sharing what I notice, and I would love, love, love to know what you know too. Meanwhile, if you watch all the press, Justin Baldoni is out there singing her praises. So regardless of anything that happened on set, when it came time to promote the movie, he was talking about how she was like this multi-talented powerhouse. She does so much. Man, she writes, she produces, she does this, she does that. Is there anything she can't do? He went out and he was a professional. So when they're saying that he launched a smear campaign against her, I don't know. I mean, I know we've seen in history before where people say one thing and then they do another behind the scenes. But it's just really interesting how he's singing her praises, and then she's on the red carpet. She's doing these interviews, and all she's doing is talking about herself, treating it like it's romantic comedy, treating it like it's a good night out with the girls, romance type, movie, like it's Practical Magic or something. It's not. Oh, is it not? And she's out there, huge smiles on her face. This movie is about DV, okay? It Ends With Us is about a lot. It's like generational trauma, toxic relationships, things like that. And I believe that's the author sitting next to her. And I would be wondering that too. If that were my project, my baby, and I was a best-selling author, and this is the subject matter, and I'm sitting there looking at the star, and the star is just smiling, so happy about it because she's talking about the romance. Go see videos on TikTok. She's like, oh my gosh, I just love a romance. I did not get romance out of this. I got danger. I got red flags. I got, man, I know somebody like that. Thank goodness there's somebody who pulled out of it before they became an episode of Forensic Files. Watching Blake and watching everybody else, it looked like two separate projects. Here's one in particular, and speaking of which, this whole WME thing, man, we started noticing with Meghan, and again, I can't help it. Thank you, Meghan Markle, because you've really opened our eyes to the shady stuff that happens. The way it's everybody in the same umbrella, buddy thing, friend, favor, because we've seen so much where it was, WME set that up for her. WME got her with those people. WME represent the other talent. WME with the ESPYs. And I'm starting to notice that trend too, because in this one video in particular, this is the one where she's like, I love romance movies, romance this, romance that. I guess I'm the biggest lover of romance movies since Baz Luhrmann. Well, can you guess who represents Baz? WME. And the same here. Blake Lively says Justin Baldoni ruined her reputation and not her rude interviews. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a video. It was for Cafe Society, which I believe came out in 2016. And Blake Lively was in it. And there was a Norwegian reporter who tried to make a comment, being happy. Blake was showing off her baby bump, or maybe she wasn't showing it off. It was showing. And she's trying to build rapport. And she goes, oh, congratulations on your bump. She's talking about the baby bump. And keep in mind, this is a Norwegian woman, Blake, who is a woman. And then you've got Parker Posey, her co-star, who is also a woman. And Blake just takes this defense. I don't know. She's not very skilled in interviews, or at least whatever she's, maybe how she is with her friends and family. It's not coming across because we don't know her like that when she's doing these interviews. Okay. So when she's trying to be like, oh, how about your bump? How about this? How about that? Oh, I wonder if I was a guy, if they would be asking me about my clothes. Well, Blake, you're not a guy. It's another woman there. So why are you treating it like it's misogyny? It's not like you were sitting across from Ryan Seacrest and he's asking you to just go on and on about your gown, doesn't care about what you have to say. Okay? Can we play nice a little bit? Can you do this? I mean, I know typically actors don't like junkets and whatever, but again, there are so many interviews out there where she does not come off as friendly, she does not come off as genuine, she does not come off as warmth. And I don't know if it's maybe that disconnect that's causing this perception, but this has been around a lot longer than any supposed smear campaign. Oh, I just love romance. So, Colleen, again, there's the author. Romance. I feel like the author is going, you do realize this was not a good love story, right? This dude beat her, pushed this girl down the stairs, killed a relative once, blah, 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 blah. She's also kind of in this, weird love situation with a friend from childhood who was also a victim of DV. So, these are all different accounts on TikTok. It's wild how Blake Lively talked about the movie. It ends with us like it was a romantic rom-com. It is not Notting Hill. It is not Love Actually. It is not While You Were Sleeping. None of those things, okay? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is the only person focused on the real issue at hand, and then it's about DV. You would think that a woman in power would advocate for us. Instead, it is a man doing it. Let that sink in. So again, this is the perception. Okay? Now, I can't say if this person was influenced by anything behind the scenes, but I know without any of this drama, this was my perception at the time. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to go see It Ends With Us. It's a very heavy subject matter. This was someone else. She's like, oh my gosh, she told us to put on a dress, blah, blah, blah. Don't go grab your girls and your florals. Yeah, it's a very heavy subject matter. So, about public perception, look, Elon Musk said it best. You are the media now. We are. There's been a lot of censorship. Look, I will never support hate speech. I will never support misinformation. Like, you cannot tell me the sky is green when I'm looking at it and it's blue. If you have, color issues with your eyes, I can understand that, but I'm not going to sit here and change it based off of what I see. I do my own research. I encourage you to do the same. So again, perception is reality. So I mentioned it before, they're claiming because there was so much backlash. It came out in Entertainment Weekly. All right. She's been criticized for trying to promote it. Blake, honey, nobody told you that, hey, while you're over here in this city and doing this, this, and this, that you had to bring along your products. Okay. It's called press at 3, product launch at 6, cocktails, whatever. Separate the two. So, yeah, that was stoked by an article in the New York Times, which chronicled many ways in which It Ends With Us as a brand building exercise for Lively. Guys, put a pin in that because I'm going to do another video on that, because while I was looking into this, oh my gosh, treasure trove of other things that I think is going on, and you do not want to miss it, okay? Speaking of which, oh, this is part of it. Hi, check me out. I'm being a happy little gardener, just like my character who was being beaten all the time. It ends with us. What a way to cross promote, huh? So, guys, I mentioned earlier, and I'm sure you all noticed it too. She's got this thing. It's named after her daughter. It's like Betty Booze, Betty Brews, whatever. It's this little drink thing. Well, everybody was harping, and when I say everybody, I mean thirsty celebs. Okay, anybody who has class in our conscience. When Catherine said, "Hey, I'm taking a break," we respected it. Okay, in fact, so many of us got to her defense because really and truly, whether she's future queen, your coworker, it's nobody's business what somebody has going on. They said the palace issued the statement. That's it. Okay. Well, she was like a lot of celebrities out there, including the Kardashians. And I don't remember if it was Sheryl Crow or someone else. But she said, oh, she made a comment. Catherine had posted that picture that she took of her and her 3 children for Mother's Day, which had like the most minute amount of Photoshop I've ever seen. But Blake, using a lemon, again, I'm saving that one for later. That'll be a separate video. Did not shy away from using it as a chance to promote her little carbonated beverage brand there. Now, after that, after the whole debacle with the photo, Catherine came forward. She said, "I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like amateur photographers, I do mess around with Photoshop." And then it was revealed that Catherine has cancer. So Blake, after the Princess of Wales came under fire for sharing the Photoshop snap, well, she did apparently apologize for it. But when you read the apology, it didn't come off as like a sincere apology. In fact, by saying, "I'm sure no one cares today, but I feel like I have to acknowledge this. I made a silly post." It comes out kind of passive aggressive, don't you think? And, "Oh man, that post has mortified me today. I'm sorry. Sending love and well wishes to all, always." Well, if you've been keeping up with pop culture and everything going on with the entertainment industry and movies like I have, oh, Blake, that apology came off as sincere as Rachel Zegler's, the worst Snow White, in my opinion, ever in history. Where she apologized saying, "Oh, here I am with my fake tears, and I can only hope that you will still line up and go see my movie." Honey, I wouldn't go see your movie if it was for free. None of your movies. I just don't think you're a very likable person, but that's my opinion, okay? We really do need all these people that we have out there in Hollywood for crisis management, this, and this. How about you start training your clients on how to be gracious? If they can deliver their lines, okay? If they can learn their lines to deliver it for a movie, they can learn their lines to deliver it for social media. You used to train these people. You used to have handlers back in the day. Can we get back to that, please? Because quite honestly, the freaky things that are going on and the things that are shattering the images, I really don't care about everybody's political opinions anymore. All right, can we keep certain things private? Yep, definitely not princess material there, Rachel. Yeah. So this picture here, she's done so many interviews, and there's one where the interviewer was asking Blake specifically, "So how can fans that this resonates with, DV, reach out to you, get in touch with you?" Because he was really setting her up to be somebody philanthropic, to be a spokesperson for this subject. And this is the wrong picture. I do apologize, but she was sitting next to the other co-star in the movie. And instead of it being, "Oh, this is how you can," or "I recommend that you call the domestic violence hotline, da 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 da." No, instead she makes it kind of this like cutesy, like she's flirting with you, weird, awkward, just met at the bar type thing. And she's going on and on, like you want me to do location share, you want to do this. And if you look at the rest of the co-stars, they're all sitting there and like, we were in the movie too. We made a different movie than the one she's talking about, which is the Blake Show. And here she is, like, again, on the tour. "Hey, check it out. Blake Brown, let me show you this awesome thing about your hair." And, man, she did a lot of press. Good press for her hubby's film, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, she did play Lady was it Lady Pool? Yeah, which is from, the endless worlds and different versions of Deadpool. And she makes this comment about how, no, they don't actually pay you to promote the movie. And I don't care who you are, walking the red carpet to me as the person who pays for the ticket, you're dressed in millions of dollars, thousands of dollars of clothes and jewelry and everything else. You're given the glam treatment. All right. That's part of why we follow you, why we invest in you, why we support you and your movies, why we go out there. So when we hear you complaining about it, I get it. You don't want us walking up to you on the street. I respect that. Okay? You don't want us to ask for your autograph if I'm your waiter and you're having a nice dinner. You don't want embarrassing moments photographed and shared. I understand that. And I will back you up all day long. You don't want your privacy invaded. I get that. But for you to sit and nitpick and say, I don't get paid to promote this film, in my opinion, yeah, you do. Because part of that paid promotion is your image all over the internet. It's on the movie posters and everything else. You're dolled up, you're glammed up. I get it. It's not fun. I remember pageant days. I remember having to sit there with curlers. I remember losing sleep and everything else. Heck, I remember being on set. Okay? But if you're in Hollywood, you're only as good as your last project, as good as your last picture. So if you're not going to get all dolled up, glammed up, to go strut the red carpet so that they can cover it, so we can all sit and go, wow, look how beautiful Blake looked, then quit. There are other people out there who are more than happy to take your spot. Because last I checked, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you don't get paid to go to the Met Gala. It's an honor to be invited. You don't get paid to go to the Academy Awards. It's an honor to be invited. It's free press for you to be invited. And if you're not in a movie or you have nothing to do with the industry, you don't have a spouse who does, you don't get to go. So why would anybody want to hear about that? Okay? You're there. Sell your product, which is you. Again, one of those pressers. And keep in mind, and I'm going to get into this into a later video, she was the costume designer, stylist person for this movie, It Ends With Us. And Blake, I don't think you did a very good job. I would not be bragging, honey. And I don't know if maybe you wore too many hats, or you didn't watch Sex and the City, or you're trying to launch a new lifestyle brand. Again, put a pin in this, guys, because there will be another video. But I don't think this is a good job. And if you read the book or you know anything about the character, a lot of people disagreed with these choices too. Kind of reminds you of somebody else, doesn't it? So here we go. What's really interesting too is about the fact that you go to Blake's page. One, you want to talk about power and who has the ability to do smear campaigns or who has pull in Hollywood, okay? She's got 45.8 million followers on Instagram. And during the movie, instead of putting anything about DV, it was all about Betty Booze, which are those two drinks that she has out there right now. The director, far less followers, only 3.5 million. And it was about DV issues, help is available. This is what you typically see from a movie or TV show, one of those very special episodes that are talking about something. Do you remember those growing up? They would always say, hey, this is a sensitive subject matter. If you're somebody blah, blah, blah. Because even though they're telling a story, they want to make sure, whether it's PR perception or because they care, that, hey, we're going to be a resource too. A lot of things have come out, and I'm hearing it on both sides, okay? But keep in mind, she was a producer. He was the director. They're co-stars in the movie, okay? And again, this is not about the harassment complaints, okay? But so much has come out about Blake, and even Justin was like, look, I listened to her. She's a producer. She had an idea. We went with it. We did this. We did these things. I mean, she had a lot of say in this movie and what was done. And in case you can't tell by the way she was doing the pressers, why does this come up? And she's even said, I don't think I can be in something and not be a producer. I have to have a say. We've all heard this before, and really, it is not a good look. Okay? Popcrave had posted there was a fracture between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni post-production stage of Ends With Us. It Ends With Us. After Lively commissioned Deadpool and Wolverine editor Shane Reed, again, that's her hubby's film, another big WME vehicle, to create her own cut of the movie, The Hollywood Reporter reports. Now, The Hollywood Reporter, I don't know, they've always been kind of the Bible about things, okay, as far as Hollywood goes. A lot of those other publications can be bought. But if that's true, and she had producing right and everything else and changed it, I'd like to know what the author thinks of that. That way it's not he said, she said. It's, hey, this is a movie I thought we were going to make. This is a book I wrote. I would like to know. If anybody has a link to what the author thinks, please, please, please share it for me below. Because we know, this is a picture of when Blake was having that issue with the Norwegian interviewer. Now, she came out on her own and said, hey, look, this was the worst interview I've ever done in my career. I wanted to quit, okay? And then after these allegations came out that there's a smear campaign against her, this journalist came out and said, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's get something clear. Nobody asked me to release that. That was my own personal opinion based off of my experience with Blake. Okay, I have never been treated so rudely in my life. I was trying to do my job and she was just not having it. And we hear stories like this all the time. Okay, you really should be, I don't know what it is about the sense of entitlement, but really and truly, I get you're the star. You should be making friends with the press as much as you can instead of demanding things. Now, if somebody just outright does not like you or they're being rude, yeah, have them leave. Don't do the interview. Shut it down. Do something like that. But my goodness, we have seen this time and time again with Blake. Again, I don't know if maybe she's just coming off as the Blake that she always is with her friends. And it's just not connecting because, let's be honest, unless these are people you really know, you're going to see a ton of journalists at one time because it's who has access to you. They've got people who don't stay in it all the time. They get replaced, that sort of thing. So unless it's one of those things where they know you, you really have to learn how to be personable. You've got to learn how to create some sort of connection with the people. And keep in mind that it's not just the interviewer you're connecting with because it's going to be the public too. Somebody call Olivia Pope, please. So, guys, I know we've been talking about DV a lot. If you are somebody you know, no matter who you are, you're going through it. If you just want somebody to talk to, if you're not sure, if you're trying to tell yourself maybe it's not technically DV or it's not as bad as somebody, whatever your situation or your friends or your family or your loved one, whoever, or maybe just share it on social media for me, okay? There's somebody there to listen, somebody there to help. They've got resources. The number is 800-799-7233. I'd appreciate it if you'd share this for me, okay? Or text BEGIN to 88788. Here's It Ends With Us. I mean, I get it. They were proud. They're excited. Look, I mean, you've got Hugh Jackman coming. He has nothing to do with this movie, right? He's not paid to promote this. He's doing it as a friend. So why would we want to hear that from somebody else? You have it so hard. Another interesting thing is a lot of people have been sharing this. And when I say a lot of people, I'm not talking about the media. I am talking about everyday users, okay? People with not a lot of followers. This is the poster, allegedly, that Blake wanted out there for It Ends With Us. Would you know this was about DV? No, this makes it seem like, oh, it's a romantic movie. It's all about Blake. We love, we dream, we pick up the pieces, and it's about love is in bloom. Bloom, bloom, bloom. I mean, I would never know it was about as serious subject as it is. So, see this right here? Blake, like a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, launched her own lifestyle brand back in 2014, and in a year's time, she closed it down. It was called Preserve. If you go to the website now, it looks like somebody else bought the URL. They're doing some sort of blogging thing with it, whatever. But this did not get very warm reception at all. And again, doing this deep dive, I have uncovered so much speculation, my opinion, whatever. We're going to be doing a video about that, so stay tuned, okay? So I find it very interesting that considering she had a failed lifestyle brand before, she is claiming that this launch of her hair care line is all of a sudden tanking and it's somebody else's fault. Where did we hear that before? Again, Blake, I don't know if you know this, but if you go to the Golden Globes and you're walking down the red carpet of the Golden Globes, you don't sit there and just talk up the Academy Awards and how much better they are and ignore everything about the Golden Globes. Okay? I mean, if you're going to launch a brand, if you're going to launch a product, you really, really do have to learn how to stay on topic instead of making go all the way around. So, you want to know who else WME represents? So WME dropped Justin Baldoni, okay? To be honest, I don't know who Justin Baldoni is except for this. It's almost like the Streisand effect, okay? I had no idea who he was except for this. WME, I think, should we do a video on that? Because again, pure speculation, just my opinion. They are like the mafia of Hollywood entertainment and sports agencies, okay? Like, you're not going to mess with them. You're not going to have anything happen, all right? They represent people like Angelina Jolie and Denzel Washington and Selena Gomez. I mean, John Krasinski just made Sexiest Man Alive. Serena Williams. I mean, Hugh Jackman. Look, Hugh Jackman and Blake were just on the cover, did a Vogue cover shoot together, okay? Ryan Reynolds, he's part of it too. WME is going nowhere, okay? They have their hands in so many things. They've got the top of the top, all the top artists right now, all the biggest celebrities. And so even right here, even Edward Enninful, we know him, right? Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. With this cover, so many WME people for Vogue. Are you starting to pick up what I'm laying down here? So, oh, yep, we'll represent Chrissy Teigen and John Legend and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. But enough about her right now. Again, we'll go into another video on her. So, they even represent Taylor Swift, okay? So, they are really, really good at their jobs. Again, we will go into it later. They are really, really, really good at their jobs. So, if something's not happening for one of their people, I'll let you put two and two together. So as I said, once this came out, these allegations, Justin Baldoni got dropped by WME right away. Okay, there was no hesitation. There was no, hey, afterwards, much like what happened with Johnny Depp and Disney, he got dropped. Okay, and why wouldn't he? If you have stars that are quarreling, something's going on, and the bigger star and her husband are there, yeah, I'd keep Blake too. I can't say, again, if anything about the harassment, yeah, I'd say we listen, we go for it. We can't say whether that did or did not happen, in my opinion, okay? Like, let that go through the court system. But for me, this whole claim that he's the reason why her new product line bombed, I'm sorry. Based off of what I've seen with her, I mean, look, we get it. Gwyneth is pretentious, right? She said she was never going to be somebody who made only $30,000 or $60,000 a year, something like that. Yes, she can't live without her pizza oven, but she owns it, and there's really only room for one kind of kooky person, okay? These are the movies and projects that Justin Baldoni's been in. And again, I'm so sorry, not trying to be mean. I couldn't pick him up out of a lineup. I don't know him. Okay, he's never stood out. So for him to be the director of this film, I don't know. Did he tick somebody off and they were just like, all right, fine, time to get rid of him? Because you know who's not? Blake Lively. Blake is part of the Soho House set. Yeah, that's Samantha Stone in the middle there. I think they said that was her fourth baby that she's pregnant with. So they had, a little girl. And so they had this really, pink, shower at Soho House. Blake went there to support her friend. Longtime best friend of hers. In fact, I believe it was Samantha's husband. We'll get to that in just a minute. Who helped Blake transition from a young teenager, young adult star from Gossip Girl into like mainstream movies, like doing The Town. Okay. Yep. Megan, Marcus, Kelly Zyphon, we get it. Okay. But notice how she was not in any pictures with Blake. So Samantha is married to Justin Gray Stone. This was from quite a few years back, so Justin is older than this now. But see, it says, he helped get Dakota Johnson to play Anastasia Steele in 50 Shades of Grey. Likewise, Stone helped Blake Lively transition more roles post Gossip Girl with The Town. I mean, these people, it's all who you know, pay to play type thing. I mean, she's friends with Taylor Swift. That's her sister. So in case you don't know who Blake Lively is, I'm going to give you just a little bit of backstory about her. Blake Lively comes from a long line of acting families, the Lively family. I believe her father was an actor. Her sister, Robin Elaine Lively, right here, okay, she started as a child actress. A lot of people know her from Teen Witch, where she played Louise. See, we all love that movie, especially with that awful Top That rap. That was so bad. So she's known as Louise from Teen Witch here. And then she was also in like Twin Peaks. I believe she dated Corey Feldman for a while. She was in The Karate Kid Part 3. She's really kept her acting career going. And if you follow her on social media, she just seems like she'd be like the sweetest, most awesome, fun person. And here's a picture of all the Lively family, all the Lively siblings. So we've got Eric, I think that's Lori. Lori's the acting coach. And then that is Jason Lively. So Jason Lively is probably best known for being the geeky love hero from Night of the Creeps. And he also played Russ Griswold in National Lampoon's European Vacation. Here's Blake. Blake was kind of the mean girl in Gossip Girl, one of the leads. She was in The Town right here. Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck also directed that. Here she is in The Age of Adeline. Notice how it looks just like, it's like she's got this look that she likes, right? Is it just me or do you notice that too? And then she carried this movie. It was her versus a CGI shark. I kind of liked it, okay? But again, I just knew her for what she was doing on screen. I didn't know about any of these difficulties in interviews or anything like that. I'm sorry, I was busy, okay? Now that I've slowed down a little bit, I'm starting to do the thing where I get to know the stars a little bit more. And I have to say, Blake, again, I think you could do so much better than this, okay? Like just get some more focus on what you're doing and don't come off so entitled, hun, okay? Here she is as Lady Pool in the Deadpool universe. And again, I just brought it up. I mean, to get on the red carpet and be like, they don't pay us to promote the film. You don't get paid. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? You don't get paid to go to the Met. Okay? By the way, I did love this dress. If you can find the video of it online, because it was kind of like a Aurora Sleeping Beauty type dress. They help take off like part of it and it changes colors on her. But there she is with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Again, Ryan and Hugh Jackman just had this amazing summer in Deadpool and Wolverine. So considering that Blake is who she is, and Blake has, look, when that whole thing with Harvey Weinstein came out, Blake came out and said, look, I met him at professional functions. I never experienced that with him. However, no one should ever have to put up with that. She had experienced her own issues with like whether it was a dress she said for prom fittings or somebody grabbing her butt. That kind of stuff is never okay. And I agree. So again, this video is not about whether or not she experienced any type of harassment on the set. It's about whether or not she had a smear campaign and did that smear campaign against her, and did that smear campaign really hurt her hair care sales. And I have to say, if you're coming off, you are your product, okay? People say there's no business like show business. I disagree. There's no business but show business. Disney taught us that, all right? Everything is about creating a moment. It's about creating the magic. You go to a magic show, that's the best thing, is the illusion of it all. Heck, you go to a really good haunted house, it's about believing like you're safely in a scary zone. So Blake has, in a way, maybe been a little shielded from some of the worst things. I don't know. But at the same time, she's married to like the top Hollywood actor right now. She's with WME. She's got all of those followers. She comes from a long line of acting family that's been in the entertainment industry for quite a long time. So if this Justin Baldoni guy really did launch a smear campaign against her, was he stupid? Did he, like, if he did, let's just be honest, okay? I get it. We've seen some people who shall remain nameless. Again, Duchess, Sussex, okay? Who get a little bit of attention and then think they could go around ordering people around. I get it. But Justin, if he did this, what do you think? Do you think he really launched a smear campaign? And or do you think that smear campaign had anything to do with the downfall of her sales for her product? Because I don't know, like, surely anybody, if there was a publicist who said, okay, let's do that, would have known they would never be hireable again in Hollywood. I mean, it just came out about Harvey Weinstein allegedly hiring people to smear people like Rose McGowan. Right? We've had bots, we've had armies, we've had censorship. If he really did launch this smear campaign, I mean, did he think he was going to win? It's Blake Lively, whether you like her or not. So this is why I'm going to be watching really close, because I want to see that evidence. Okay? Me, Blake, again, I knew you had some fuzzy drink. Wasn't paying attention to it. You rubbed me the wrong way. Whenever you went after Catherine, I get it. You were going to use kind of like whatever you have to. You're out there. You're all about, hey, I'm going to promote myself. Going to get myself going. Everybody else is doing it. Part of the herd mentality. Whatever. Not a fan of you doing that, okay? But to launch and be doing hair demonstrations when you're supposed to be, it's like she said, you know what, I'm not paid to promote the movie that I'm in, so I'm just gonna bring my hair care stuff and be like, and we use this on the set, isn't that cool? So technically she was promoting it while promoting herself. But girl, even if that is your mentality, you produced that movie, okay? Like, go on and on about how great the movie is. You were really hands-on because it was your first chance you got to use your new product. And you'd be like, hey, we're launching that. Follow me on Instagram because I want to talk to you about this movie and the importance. This is not hard. I've had zero training. It just makes no sense, okay? If this guy really thought he could take on the wife of Marvel Jesus. And in case you don't know, you've got to go watch Deadpool. Now, yes, I do say, I get it. The language is a little crude. And after the first few minutes, I was like, oh, man, I don't think I could do this. It's just because it was just too much. And I'm sorry, I'm a DC girl. Don't unfollow me, okay? I'm just a huge Superman fan, and I always will be, all right? With that being said, though, Deadpool Wolverine was pretty amazing. In fact, it's my favorite in the series. And just all the little, like, breaking fourth wall things, the jokes, the way he was like, oh my gosh, I'm Marvel Jesus. You've got to watch it, okay? I'm not doing it justice. I know I'm totally ruining it here. In fact, here's a cute picture of Blake and him behind the scenes. I did get this from their Instagram. So I have other videos that are coming out about this because, I mean, again, yeah, we're bored with Meghan Markle. I want to talk about like all things in pop culture anyway, headlines, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing and understanding how the whole, hey, rub my back and I'll rub yours type thing goes, scrub my back, I'll scrub yours, and to start seeing the connections between stuff some more, maybe a few cold cases, stuff like that, then please like, share, subscribe, comment below, hit the notification bell, and, I'll be in touch and I'll be posting a lot more soon. So thank you so much for your support. I'm also open to ideas for what you would like me to cover next. And do I have it? I think I do have an update. Yep. Here's Smokey. Yeah. Can you tell he was getting comfy for bed? That little tongue is hanging out, and yep, he stole Lucy's moose there. So he's just really comfortable with the moose. He's doing really good with the temporary relocation, and he's just happy to be home. So, guys, wishing you a very, very happy holidays, happy New Year's, and talk soon. Can't wait to hear what you think. And yeah, I'll be back around more soon. So take care and have a great evening. Thanks. Love y'all. Bye.